The game Ether World. It was released then years ago as a dating simulator targeted at a female audience, but it ended up having significantly more male players. It allowed players to play a variety of characters, starting from easy but very efficient character to very difficult but inefficient character. But amongst them was one character especially known for his difficulty level and terrible features. There was one pervert who mained this character, Beak Uziel, for years. In the end, I decided to get started. This is me, the player that played Beck Uziel. In perfect morning, I slipped my morning coffee, and then I realized that there is a new post in the forum, plus as there is a new update, but when I glanced at the comments, every player is hating this new update. But I got confused because everyone is complaining about a final boss appearance. Isn't it supposed to end when you get with another character? Because it's a dating game after all. Afterwards, I saw a famous gamer on this game complain about the last final boss. But still, it doesn't make sense that there would be a monster with magic, nullifying skills in a magical world. Also, is it a bug? Because people are complaining about getting their characters are deleted. And then I saw that dragon. It is named Dark Demon Dragon, 13 Moon of the Black Knight. So the story in the Ether World has a cult-like organization called Dark Demonic Humans, and their goal is to help an other world called Persona Gate to take over this world. And when they finally managed to achieve that goal, the Dark Demon Dragon appeared. Wait, what? 90% of the continent has already been taken over by Persona Gate. Also, I've only concerned myself with player versus player and not the story so far, but the whole lore of this game got messed up. Is it really okay? Since I can't avoid fighting the dragon, I might as well give it a try. In the end, I decided to log in the game and accepted on fighting the dragon that every best player in the world couldn't able to finish. Right now, I will show off the skills I've joined over the last 10 years. If I am to explain my character Beck Uziel, he is the sole character in the game who cannot use magic, despite the fact that everyone can use magic in the game. Because of this, even the most experienced players choose to not play him. Basically, he is worse than a bot. Of course, he still can use some magic, just one magic only. Afterwards, the dragon casts its attack against me. But seeing it, I didn't get scared, but rather I smiled and started to teleport to near places using the one and only magic this character has. In the end, I escaped the dragon's attack. Beck Uziel Blink spell allows him to randomly travel between 3 to 10 meters very quickly. The direction he will blink in is random, so if he does not control the distance well, he will die immediately due to the speed and impact. On top of that, the cooldown time and mana usage is ridiculous. There is also penalty that you cannot move for 2 seconds after using the skill, so anyone can learn it, but most people don't use it. However, I am different. Because of me, Beck Uziel has mastered the use of blink. He can control which direction he will go in as well as the distance, plus he also managed to nullify the penalty. Now, it doesn't use up mana, since he doesn't even have a mana status. Unlike other spells, blink was nothing more than a movement ability. But I became obsessed with this character since everything depended on my skill level. So over the last 10 years, I have been playing as the only character in the game that cannot use magic in battles. I then used my sword to cut the dragon from head to toe. After doing it, I never looked back, but there was an announcement saying I defeated the final boss, 13 Moon of the Black Knight. Wait, what? Did I really killed it? I know that I'm basically covered head to toe in the ancient relic items, but it's still a garbage character, ain't it? Well, that's nice. Now I'm going to post this in the social media to flex on other players that I killed the Dark Demon Dragon. But then something red appeared, saying the wrong ending has been reached. 90% of Ether World has been destroyed. It kept on coming back. Suddenly, it turns into another message, but this said I was the one that was close to reaching the true ending. What does that mean? Suddenly, that message started to beg me to get into the true ending. Right after that, there was a blue light, and that started to surround me. Afterwards, I got disappeared from my own room, and quick I woke up in a different roof of a house. I didn't know what was going on and where I was, but suddenly I noticed something, which was a mirror. But seeing myself in there shocked me more because I appeared as Beck Uziel, and something comes out of nowhere, saying this is the first episode and that I should escape the chase. This shocked me, because this is Beck Uziel Prologue Quest. There is no way. When I checked my pockets, I saw the entrance certificate to Stella Academy. It's hard to believe, but this is definitely Ether World, and I had to be Beck Uziel. I need to be logical about this. That red voice told me to reach the true ending. But from what I know, this game doesn't have a true ending. It just has multiple endings. Wait a minute, could that mean no one has managed to reach the true ending in the last 10 years? I got shocked as I read the entrance invitation of the Academy. Damn it, this isn't the time to be thinking about that, because if my memory serves me right after Baek Yuziel wakes up in the game, the people chasing after him burst into the hut. Just like he thought there were some group of men's angrily searching for him. Seeing them, I hide myself, because they are already near to where I am. Suddenly, one of the men from there shouts that they can see a hut over there, and goes on by ordering his subordinates to search inside. Wait. What am I supposed to do now? Because there's a limit to how long I can avoid them, but I can't fight them either. When I was concerned about it, something opens up which reveals that I can use the skill called Blink. No way can I really use Blink. I have a body that suffers from magic leakage syndrome. Baek Yuziel, who can accumulate mana in his body, has this one and only hope, which is that one spell I fully practiced my whole life, and then make to the present I fully saw the usage of my Blink spell, whereas can only use my Blink once. And then I have to wait for another 3 seconds to use it again because that spell is currently at level 1. This is really telling me to use Blink right now, but that was a game where I controlled my character with a mouse and keyboard. Meanwhile, at outside, those men's rushes into the hut that I am currently inside. Damn, they already near me. As a result, I have no time left. And the only thing I can try is to give this a try afterwards. When I started to run, they noticed me, and they started to follow me. In the game, at the starting, there was this first part of the tutorial. Is to avoid the pursuers by using Blink. My pursuers who wear magic boots, and that are faster than me. Thus, the only way I can successfully escape is if I use Blink. I have to calm down, because even though I have used Blink countless times before, I have the timing burned into my muscle memory. Suddenly one of the men shouts that I can't run anywhere, but seeing it I realize they're almost there to catch me. But still, the Blink's disadvantage is that if the user fails to control the distance, they could collide with an object and die in an instant. While I was lost and thought those men's already caught up to me and was about to give a finishing blow. In the end, I decided to use the Blink, and then I saved myself from getting killed. Yes, I did it, and then those mages get shocked to realize that I can use Blink, but the leader suddenly tells those guys to not flatter, because after using Blink the user will always get paralyzed for at least 2 seconds, so it's actually good for them. But then that leader gets shocked, since I wasn't got paralyzed by the Blink spell. Meanwhile, I only know how much I am having trouble to calm down myself down so that I can control my Blink spell. Plus, I need to use this terrain to my advantage, since players who weren't able to learn how to control Blink at this stage won't be able to make it to the next episode. But in reality, 99% of the players who played Baek Yuziel were unable to pass this tutorial episode 1. And even the 1% that made through the tutorial were unable to surpass the wall of Blink distance control and continuous blinking, and then every 3 seconds I used my Blink spell. But seeing my moments, that leader couldn't able to think straight, and suddenly orders his men to attack me using magic. And then those magic mages get in front. And now to the second part of the tutorial, which is to use Blink to dodge the magic arrows flying at me. In the game, I can see everything behind, since it was in the monitor, so I could dodge it at that time. Suddenly there was another message. It says skill, magic leakage syndrome, is being used. As a result, there was another skill that called Sixth Sense and cognitive acceleration are being used. But then after it got activated, I got shocked. And In was able to easily dodge all the bullets aimed at me. In the end, I suddenly used Blink to dodge the barrage of magic bullets. And after coming away from them, I reached to the final part with a breathtaking run. The finale obstacle Injad to overcome was crossing a canyon while using Blink, and the only way to cross is to control the distance of my Blink perfectly. Then I can meet up with some passing mahes and escape. And that's the end of the tutorial. In order to pass this part, one have to cancel my Blink spell, which occurs in 1 millisecond at the perfect time, and if I fail even once, I'll die right here. And there are about 20 floating boulders, and 1 millisecond is a lot easier to say than to do it. Even though I hate this tutorial, it's still doable, but the problem is, suddenly those men spotted me standing. As a result, my pursuers are really closer than I expected. Currently, the distance between me and them is about 100 meters. Since my Blink has a 3 seconds cooldown, that's not enough time to make it across. It looks like the best way for my survival is to kill them all. After deciding it, I quickly decided to hide in a ledge. Even though this is a crazy idea, it's still daring of me to think I can pull it out. Also, if this were a game, the system would make it impossible to attack those who are chasing me. But this is reality. No rule says that I have to blindly follow the game system. Also, the thought of killing someone doesn't bother me at all. The reason isn't because those guys are my parents, killers, it's just I think I can win this battle. I then stand right in front of them, so they will get provoked, and it worked exactly as I thought. They then started to charge directly at me. Meanwhile, they thought to themselves it's going to be an easy fight because I am charging at them alone. Suddenly, I used my blink with a target distance, which made that men to get a small regret for looking down at me, because it was an easy kill for me. But for that guy, he didn't even know what happened, but the clear feelings of blood running down my fingertips, I didn't even feel any sense of guilt at all. After all, I only killed them to survive. I then kicked that guy right onto those dumb guys. Some of them got scared, and others got really mad. Even still, they started to follow me, shouting at top of their lungs to not let me go, even though I dealt with one of them. Next attack won't be easy. Wait, it suddenly became so quiet. Did they give up on chasing me? No, they didn't, because they somehow came in front of me. I don't know their next move. Are they using magic? So I should just dodge. Suddenly, they started to cast magic directly at me, and I was in the middle of that rain of fireball. Damn it, I don't think I can escape. Suddenly, I saw a tree branch and quickly used me blink spell, but those guys didn't realize anything and get satisfied for killing me. But when the smoke got clear, they realizes I wasn't there, and I was directly on top of him. And when he saw me, it was too late for that guy because I used my skill again to teleport right in front of him and got a clean strike. Meanwhile, other men's didn't even know that their leader were killed. After when he noticed it, I was already standing there with full of blood in my hands. In the end, there is only 2 guys left, and I need to finish this quickly before those guys that fell behind catches up. Afterwards, that guy says I have an uncanny speed for mage, and goes on by asking who I am really, but still he wasn't wrong, because my reaction speed is indeed faster than most professional gamers, but that's only when we are talking about games, and still I can't just keep on dodging their attacks too, especially at such close range. So I'll end as quickly as possible. Suddenly that guy gets serious by saying he already know my fighting style, which I am always using blink and a dagger, so as long as I protect my face and neck, that dagger won't even strike me. And then that guy goes on by using a skill called ice wall, but I used blink. That ice wave started to come at me, and then he tells to himself that he got me, with a rage. But he got shocked since I was already there and took down another guy, while he was still in confusion because I was just running away like a rat before. As a result, I reply with a smile, that because of him I got good at it, which once again enraged that guy. So he started to charge up his blade saying he will kill me. Meanwhile, I never waved, and I charged in for the attack. And goes on by throwing my knife, which was aimed directly at him, since using blink head-on puts me at risk of getting counterattacked. But that guy just thought to himself if I am trying to lure him into defensive position. Even still, he goes in for the defensive position and gets ready to attack me, only to realize I wasn't standing in front of him, but before he could react, I already stabbed right in his heart. Because I was planning to attack him directly on the front. As a result, the episode 1 of Escaping the Pursuers is over. Subscribe so you won't miss on part 2.
After finishing the job of escaping the pursuers, my face, my hands, everything was covered in blood. That's right, this wasn't a dream. My first ever blink. And my first ever battle, also my first murder. Everything I did until now was to survive. Afterwards, I decided to leave this place. But before going, I got an idea. Although this leaves a bitter aftertaste, I have to think realistically since I have no money. Alright, it looks like my enemies had some money, approximately $1,000. After arriving to the cliff, someone called me from the other side of the ledge, which was the group of mages that appears in the tutorial. And they asked me whether if I can cross this place because there is no bridge nearby. But I just replied I can cross it. As a result, they decided to wait until I cross. But then one of the mage gets worried because to cross this cliff, they should at least be a third-class knight. But while they were being worried, they suddenly got shocked because I already started to cross the ledge slowly using my blink. But those mages couldn't able to understand what I was doing. Suddenly, someone says it's right, that I am using blink. And it was a girl. Afterwards, those mages get shocked because using blink is really hard, which can also be called impossible to control. But I was using it easily. Suddenly, they realizes 2 people standing behind me. And they realizes those 2 people are my enemies, since they are casting an attack magic and pointing it directly at me. But then when I noticed it, I barely dodged it with my blink spell, and realizes it's that 2 mages that got left behind. Also right now, my blink has cooled down for 3 seconds, so dodging all magic with it is not possible. So I have to find the next floating stone that will work as my foothold. But before I could find it, it's already too late, because that pursuer's attacked me with another spell, which I barely dodged, plus my legs gets tripped. And then I was about to fall down. Even still, I decided to not give up. Damn, all the other floating stones too. Far from me. All I have to hope that I can land on the something on random. Afterwards, I used my blink spell and grabs the ledge of a floating stone. It looks like I survived, or maybe not, because I was being attacked by that fireball again. Since there is more 2 seconds cooldown, I really can't move away from. Here, suddenly a blue wall of ice forms in front of me. As a result, it saves me from that fireball. After seeing it, I realized it was an ice spear covered with lighting, which means someone just used 2 attributes in one magic in the tutorial. Furthermore, the castor precisely calculated the trajectory without wasting any mana. Just who could perform such feat? Meanwhile, it was that beautiful girl from the rescuing mages. After seeing it, my pursuers got scared and they started to run away. It seems I survived another day. After crossing the ledge, I saw that girl in the group, and I decided to thank her for helping me. But she responds coldly that she didn't do it to receive any gratitude. And then I wonders, she got the prettiest voice I have ever heard in my life, but she seems kind of difficult to approach. Afterwards, I started to analyze the bandits that attacked my house, although they are known as bandits who pillage nearby villages. In reality, most of such activities are carried out by the dark demon cult. But even that ends here, because the moment I escape this cliff, I enter the territory of the mages, and the dark demonic humans will no longer be able to persuade me. Not to mention, they don't even know who I am. While I was lost in thoughts, something appears, which says it's the episode 2. I should enroll in the Stella Academy. So this is the second episode. Well, it doesn't sound like it will be hard, but hearing the academy name, I got shocked because how am I even supposed to go through school at this age again? After a while, it was a nighttime, and I was asleep in the wagon. Suddenly, I got a dream and call my mom, and I announces to her that I am going to be a mage when I grow up. And she replies that I believe in me, and I had the second-hand magical text that mom and dad got me by working really hard to save up, and I am going to study really hard and make my parents happy. And my mom even put a blanket on me when I passed out from overstudying myself. Afterwards, my mom was shocked because the doctor said I have managed leakage syndrome. But the kid me fell into a despair after hearing this news. Into the child me started to cry. All of a sudden, I woke up and glances out to realize it's already morning. Suddenly, a guy says he was about to wake me up because we were going to arrive in Lazoica, the satellite city of Arcanium. Afterwards, we got out to take a break, and when I was stretching, I noticed that girl staring at me, but then she suddenly turns her head away from me. That's cold. But things are going fine, considering how worried I was. I'm glad the timeline is closer to modern times rather than the Middle Ages. Magic exists in Etherworld, but in safe cities, trans and flying ships, as well as warpoles are set up to make long-distance travel convenient. Plus, we are currently going to Lazoica right now to get on a flying ship. Lazoica is a city that sets the direct route to Arcanium. But still, the real episode begins in Arcanium, the city of magic. There are renowned magic towers, as well as mage knight orders and 5 renowned academies in Arcanium. And the academy with the most powerful mages, as well as most excelling students, is Stella Academy. Because of that, Stella is full of geniuses and nobles from all over the world. But I still don't understand how Beck Uziel managed to get admission into that place. Afterwards, I remembered I didn't check out my new skills I got after escaping the pursuers, and it was a power-up for my mana, leakage syndrome, and after seeing the sixth sense and detection acceleration got some upgrades, I became happy, a cursed physique that stops me from accumulating mana within the body, mana leakage syndrome. It's a kind of inherent curse that Beck Uziel has. However, this allowed him to detect mana around him with his sixth sense. It also allowed him to sense any attacks coming towards him even if he is not looking at that direction. So mana leakage syndrome do come with some good perks. Afterwards, I saw my other gifts. And just like that, my every skills is about to get into a 2-star in Etherworld. There isn't just one level, but one for each stat. Skills are in the form of levels, and the stats in stars. Also, the maximum stat level is 9 stars, but that is essentially impossible to reach. I have played this game for over 10 years, but the highest I managed to reach was 8 stars in both stamina and sensitivity, but right now I should invest into sensitivity 4. Now to boost sixth sense and my reaction speed, because I can raise stamina and flexibility through a means after all. In the end, my sensitivity was about to become 2-star. And now the main problem is mana leakage syndrome. If I don't train this, I won't be able to survive for long. I need to upgrade it to Secrets of Nature Physique as soon as possible. Also, the way to reinforce mana leakage syndrome is within Stella Academy. That means I have no other choice but to go to Stella Academy. Only if I want to stop the end of the world and treat my syndrome. Afterwards, I realizes there were some messages I forgot to read. But before I could see it, those people called me because it's time to leave. As a result, I decided to look into it later. Meanwhile, that girl stand there silently and was looking at me silently. Afterwards, I arrived and got up in a flying ship, and the announcement in the ship tells everyone to take their seat for safety. But then a guy notices me and started to make fun of me by saying I look like a lost little kid. Also, I look like a poor country bumpkin. In the end, they got annoyed with Stella Academy for allowing peasants. But I noticed them. They then started to make fun of me directly at my face. But I didn't say a single word and walks away silently. Afterwards, I thought to myself that kids are same wherever I go. But those guys got annoyed by my attitude. Suddenly, everyone's attention started to go elsewhere, which was another girl. And her name was Bayan. When I hear that name, I realizes it's a princess of the Adalabit kingdom, Hong Bayan Adalabit. And she silently walks in the middle of the crowd. But then the guy that bullied me calls her name. But she gave him a cold death stare, which then shocked him. In the end, she walks away from them. And just like that, she walks past me too. Unlike them, she didn't even notice him standing there. But I thought to myself, she is this world's villainess. Hong Bayan is one of the main characters of this game. She and the main female protagonist always have arguments, but she dies in the end. No matter what route you take, she is brutally murdered in some endings. And in others, she's bullied by the entire academy before getting expelled. In one, she goes through something so shameful she never appears in front of the public again. It's as if the developers had personal resentments and wanted her to suffer no matter what. But she is really popular amongst the male players because she is really pretty. Also, I feel like she will kill me if I talk to her right now. Suddenly, I got my stomach scream for food after arriving at the cafeteria. I got shocked and left the room since everything is expensive. And I decided to eat after I get to Arcanium. After that, an announcement came, which says it's an announcement for everyone that they will arrive in the Arcanium in 10 minutes. So everyone should make way to the first floor. And while that announcement continues, every other characters got shown silently. In the end, I gets ready because either way, this is my reality. Right after saying it, I got my motivation destroyed. Since can I really survive in the Stella Academy? No, not only Stella Academy. Can I really survive this entire world? I wish I had something to help me in a situation like this. But then I remember the message I forgot to check before, which was a Constellation Project special reward. Number 1, I can get a single item from a game I used to have, but it will have its upgrades downgraded. Number 2, a downgraded version of the skill I acquired in the game. And finally, number 3, just some experience. After seeing it, I decided to wonder which one I should pick. And then I decided to take Returning Light skill, but it searched and gave me a heads up that it will be severely downgraded. Afterwards, I decided to get the skill Hyperspace. But then the system says Hyperspace is the advanced version of the Blink skill. So I cannot get Hyperspace, but rather I can slightly upgrade my Blink spell. This shocked me because there's no need to downgrade it. Afterwards, it suddenly says a lot of things, which was it can't provide me some good items that comes after the game has progressed. Afterwards, I thought for a while and decided to get a Bull glasses, to which that system took some time and decided to give me that glasses. Bull glasses is an item that contains all the information I have collected playing the game. In the Ether world, it was impossible to recall and read information about hunted monster or acquired knowledge. So players develops various items to store information in their own way. And I did that too, which was this glass. After I put it on, I got into work and I decided to look into the Bull folders. And everything I have already stored in my gaming time perfectly stays there. Since this place is indeed real life, there's no way for me to tell how much grinding I could do using the game system. But with this glasses, I should be able to regain half of the ability I used to have. Suddenly, I heard someone calling the name, Acel. Oh, you mean the traitor Dutch Malf's eldest daughter. Yikes, how dare she show her face here. Hey, slow your voice, she can hear you. Wait a minute, did they say Acel? Now that I think about it, one of the functions of the Bull glasses is that it allows me to register or check the character information within the story. As a result, I was able to see her character description. Her name is Acel Malf, and she is the fake heroine. Her magic type is ice lighting. She also drinks pickle juice first when eating a pizza. And her father is dead, which led by their family's downfall. Also, she will die later on the story. This shocked me. And also to explain the reason she is called fake heroine, because the place he is currently in is a game called Etherworld. The fact is, Etherworld is a game based on the original romance fantasy novel called Don't Love the Princess. And that novel is about the heroine Acel, who had lost her entire family. And she grows by confronting the schemes of the villainous Hongbayan, and eventually ends up with the male protagonist. In the end, her revenge scheme completely disappears, and the male characters protect her. And it had a sad ending after receiving harsh feedback from its readers. But the problem is that although the game's world is based off the novel, the story is completely different in the game, and original character named Flame was added, who took over the role of the heroine. Furthermore, this character named Flame had a backstory. It was that she was a woman living an ordinary life in the modern world, who regularly enjoyed reading Don't Love the Princess, and was transported to this world. So unlike the novel, Acel became the fake heroine in the game, while Flame became the real heroine. Despite many players' numerous attempts and efforts, it is said that she was not able to survive in any routes, which resulted in her getting pushed away from the real heroine position. Well, it's got nothing to do with me, but it is just my imagination. I feel like I have seen her somewhere before. In the end, it must be my imagination. Afterwards, I arrived at the Stella Academy, where a lot of kids lines out and a representative of the academy started talk about dark demonic humans, but hearing it other students gets bored. Afterwards, they decided to have an oath ceremony for 4 students who were admitted with high scores, as well as the freshman representative. In the end, they asked those students to come up. As a result, everyone got up without a problem. Seeing them, I realized that everyone's face are shining, fitting their position as main character. However, the brightest one among here is obviously the freshman representative, Ma Yuxiang. He is the student who entered with the highest score, Ma Yuxiang. He is the character that best fits the phrase, throughout the heaven and earth, I alone the honored one, with a mana status of 9 stars, processing potential close to the realm of deities. He is a natural genius among geniuses who can control all the elements in the world. Even if I can't reach the true ending, I must at least aim to avoid bad endings by bringing Ma Yuxiang to the good side. That's completely up to Flame, since Flame is a romance fantasy novel processor, and I am a romance fantasy game processor. I can't just go and talk to her about this, because it will be a bad thing if she thinks of me as an enemy. Although my importance in the story cannot even be compared to that of a shop NPC in the village. So which means my role is to support the main characters from afar, and not to get involved with them as much as possible. Afterwards, they finally finished the long entrance ceremony. As a result, episode 2 of enrolling into the Stella Academy has been completed. After a while, on an exam hall, for me it's kind of feels weird to be in high schooler again and write exam. But still, having this feels good. It's an item called Stella Pocket Watch, a watch that proves you are a student at the most prestigious magic academy. If you have this, you will receive much better treatment and service than those with most magic warrior license, so I can't wait to use it. Suddenly, a teacher arrives and tells everyone to sit in their seats, and now they will begin the exam, and the ones with the glasses will be examined. Before the exams, Stella Academy's curriculum is more rigorous than the most Korean university, because you take an exam on your first day, and it is called class organization exam, meaning it's in class placement exam. After seeing the questions, I realized I don't know what is this language at all, the class placement exam. It's actually unrelated to the entrance exam that is notorious for its crazy difficulty. Students are assigned to F to A and S class based on this exam. Of course, most of the playable characters are obviously in the S class. On the other hand, Baek Yuziel, who entered the academy as last place among thousands of students. So should I just hand the blank paper? Because I already entered this academy, right? I then suddenly notice Ma Yuxiang sitting there without writing anything. And I just thought he is already like this. And for the exam, he already finished it. So there is no wonder his life is boring. The true nature of the character of Ma Yuxiang was boredom. He was born in the strongest family in the world. And he has the most genius brain and talent in the world. Everything was too easy for him. That's why, depending on how the female lead acts, my Yuzeong disposition would be decided as evil or good. The dark demonic humans who work to bring the humans to ruins would obviously be very interested in my Yuzeong. Afterwards, I realized I can use bull glasses here too, because it even had a built-in ChatGPT. Since I got nothing to lose, I decided to check it. But then teacher asks me on what is that glass? And he goes on by questioning, if you had glasses, you should give it prior for examination. Suddenly, he took it from me to examine the glasses. Afterwards, he started to pour magic into it. Wait a minute, if I get caught using magic item, I might get expelled. But the teacher never gave up on giving it and test. And he gives the glasses back by saying he can't really feel any mana from it. Afterwards, I decided to get into work and puts on those glasses. Suddenly, I started to see answers. Let's go. This is a jackpot. At this rate, I'll definitely escape F class and maybe even get AA class. Teacher suddenly says the exam is over and asks everyone hand over their papers, which shocked me. And before I could write anything, the paper started to fly away. Also, I only finished 3 questions. After collecting the papers, teacher gets shocked to read a student's paper. Man, I thought I will finally escape F class. That must have been too much to ask for Beck Yuzio. Suddenly, the teacher started to shout by asking for my glasses once again. And once again, he started to analyze my glasses. And he goes on by calling a student to bring a doctor called Grayan. Wait, what's wrong with this teacher? I even wrote my answering process clearly so I wouldn't get mistaken for cheating. Was I got caught? Magic engineer professor, Dr. Grayan, looks at my glasses. And he says that I solved those questions is definitely suspicious. But even after that, Dr. Grayan says I didn't cheated because he cannot feel any mana for my glasses. So which means I definitely solved it with my own abilities. Suddenly, Grayan tells to the other teacher to apologize to me for unsuspicious. As a result, that teacher apologized. Well, to be honest, I did cheated and just acted like accepting his apologies. Lucky me, as long as I don't get caught, it doesn't really matter. Afterwards, at the teacher's office, Lee Hanwall, and he was correcting all the answers. Suddenly, someone calls the proposer Hanwall, which was another teacher asking about the exam papers, because she heard that there are especially many interesting freshmen this year. And then he explains that they got a student from the most renowned family in the fire class magic, Hongbayan. And then the Chusen successor of the position of Crown Prince of the Scalvan Empire at the age of 12 purely because of his magical power. And his name is Jeremy Scalvan, and from the world's famous magic tower, the Full Moon Tower. He is the successor of the Magic Tower Master, Hae Wonriang. She then happily says that she heard it was tough to set the exam questions with so many elite students from prominent family. Afterwards, he thought to himself that this time the set of exams were different because the first 3 questions were ones that would be hard to solve for the students who studied in an ordinary manner. These were the intention behind those 3 questions. First, flexibility test. If it's a problem you can't solve anyway, can you skip it and move on to the next question? Second, how would you solve a problem that didn't appear in any of the textbooks you have studied so far? Because the era of magic where rote memorization and theory prevailed are over. Now is the age of combat using quick judgment and creative thinking. However, those questions weren't meant to be solved. In fact, over 1,000 students left it blank. Of the other 100 students who attempted these questions, most couldn't get a single answer correct. Among the new students, only 3 got all the 3 questions right. Ma Yuziang, the prodigy of the century, who appeared like a comet, and his origins are unknown. Then there's Flame, who got admission on the principal's recommendation despite being a commoner, and was recognized for her talents coming close to Ma Yuziang. And then there is Beck Yuzio. Ma Yuziang and Flame are considered geniuses, but I'm pretty sure Beck Yuzio has the lowest admission score. So I didn't expect him to solve all those questions, especially when he couldn't even solve any of the other problems. Afterwards, another teacher questions, why is he being too interested in new student score? To which he replies that one student's score doesn't make sense at all, and goes on by asking whether, if Beck Yuziel could be a genius child. But then she says it might have been a coincidence, and then he reads the reason Beck Yuziel got into admission, which was granted by the Academy principal himself for using Blink, which then made him to wonder if the other principal's admission is different too. And then he smiles by saying a mage combat student specializing in Blink. We will find out soon whether it's a coincidence or if he really is special. Meanwhile, I was heading to bulletin board because they had announced the class placement. I can't believe I have to check the class assignment in person, because in the game I could check this with just one click. After arriving to the bulletin board, a student notices me and shouts if I am that Beck Uziel, and they started to make fun by they heard of me getting a 0 in the entrance exam. And some of them even gets angry at Stella for letting someone like me in. Whatever they say, I'll quickly leave after checking my class. After checking my name for in the F class, I realizes my name wasn't there. This shocked because did they failed me because I only answered 3 questions. Suddenly, I hears people calling my name, and even calling there must be mistake. And they started compare some random students by saying Beck Uziel. There is no way. In the end, I decided to check it out. Afterwards, I got shocked because my name was in the S class. Wait, what? Why is my name is written over here? This can't be. What is going on? The most special grade that all students dream of is Class S, the place where the most special students of the best magic school, Stella Academy, gather. It's different from other grades with multiple classes per grade. Class S has 41 students and has only 1 class. I have been assigned to the S class. This seems like a mistake. It's driving me crazy. I will also run into the main characters in Class S way more often now. Getting involved with the protagonist will only shorten my already short life even further. But still, I can't change my class. So I'll just have to try best to keep a low profile. Well, I think I will manage somehow. Also, like the video and subscribe so you don't miss on the third part.